Round four of the Rugby Championship sees New Zealand take on South Africa in Wellington at the Sky Stadium. Let's take a look through the teams, what the changes are, and what the impact might be. Beginning with New Zealand, looking at the forwards, Ethan's group keeps his position, but Samasoni Taikeahu and Tyrell Lomax come in, replacing Cody Taylor, who's got a concussion, and Fletcher Newell, who drops to the bench. No changes at lock with Captain Scott Barrett and Tupavai keeping their positions. Same with the loose forwards, Simon Parker, Adi Surveyor and Wallace Satiti remain in place. Scott Robinson has pointed to the scrum as their focus for the week, but they'll want to retain the influence that Tupavai and Scott Barrett had, really disruptive to the Springboks game. In the backs, it's Noah Hotham who comes in at 9. Cam Roygard and Cortez Rattam is still out injured. Finley Christie gets pushed to the bench. Bowden Barrett at 10, and the centre partnership of Geordie Barrett and Billy Proctor stay in place. Finally, it's Leroy Carter making his debut at 11. Will Jordan gets pushed to the wing, and Damien McKenzie comes in at fullback with no place for Rico Ioane, which might be a bit of a surprise. He didn't seem to have a bad game last week, but we know that the All Blacks have struggled with that gain line advantage. So Scott Robinson looking to get Leroy Carter in. It's going to be a big debut for him up against the Springboks, and particularly the likes of Cheslin Colby, who are great aerial and will be putting up high balls to challenge. Brody McAllister comes onto the bench as hooker cover. For the All Blacks, it's going to be about fixing out those scrum mistakes from last week and utilising and repeating that same aerial attack that served them so well and got them the win last week. Let's take a look at the Springboks. Oxenche, Malcolm Marks, Thomas Dutoy make up that familiar front row. Ludiacha and Ruan Notcher make up the locks, with Eamon most likely being rotated and rested. They want to keep him for the next World Cup, and Rassie has mentioned limiting his game time. Sia Klise moves back to 6, picks up his captaincy again. Peter Steph starts at 7. The change being Jasper Wiese coming in at 8, most likely for his ball carrying ability and his work rate. He can sustain it through the whole 80 minutes, and Rassie has talked about that 80 minutes performance being crucial for the win this week. Looking to the backs, it's Kobus Reinach who starts at 9. I thought he had a fantastic match last week, so really logical choice and expected change. Sacha Feinberg and Mngomezulu comes in at 10. A little bit of a surprise choice from Rassie. Might be to mix up the tactics, try and surprise the All Blacks, or just because of his consistent kicking. He is a great kicker. Keenan Moody and Damien Willemse make up the centre partnership. Moody now getting regular starting position. Afalele Fassi comes in at fullback, replacing Willie LaRue. And we've got Ethan Hooker on the wing, Ches and Colby on the other. So Rassie mixing it up a bit. Fassi, I thought, didn't have a good run against Australia. And then Ethan Hooker coming in new against the All Blacks in New Zealand is going to be a challenge. But this is Rassie's style to mix it up. He's talked about rotation, so we know we're going to see that. It'll be interesting to see what tactics they run out with and how they do in that aerial battle, which seemed to be a particular area of weakness last week. On the bench, Quagga Smith keeps his position. I thought he was really impactful last week. Great game. Manny Lebok and Grant Williams will look to inject that pace when they come on. It's looking like a strong Springbok side. Be exciting to see how they try and get hold of that aerial battle. But the All Blacks do come in confident. I would probably edge towards the Springboks myself, but don't underestimate the All Blacks. They come in, they won last week. They're going to look super confident. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Hit like and subscribe for more championship content.